Hey guys, so it's finally time for me to do my 2014 reading goals. I know a lot of you have some really specific goals like Mount TBR and reading books in your own native language and things like that. My main goal for this year is going to be reading books that I already own, or rather reading books at a faster pace than I've been buying them, which I haven't been doing since I started filming these videos. I actually made a list of all the books that I haven't read that I owned before I started this channel, and there were only 10 of them. And now I have over 130 unread books. I have a problem, but I'm going to fix it. I set my reading goal for this year for 50 books, which I have done before, and I definitely know I can accomplish it. So it won't necessarily be a challenge, but I like that it keeps my pace up, and I definitely have a lot of books to get through, so it helps me do that. So to start the year off, I've been starting with books that were given to me either for review or that I won or that friends have lent to me, like The Signature of All Things by Elizabeth Gilbert, which I won on Goodreads. The Elements of Eloquence by Mark Forsyth, which I was sent by Icon Books. And also Me Before You by Jojo Moyes, which I won on Twitter. Then there are also some series that I want to finish, such as the Mortal Instrument series. I don't actually own any physical copies of these books, but I do own the ebooks of all the ones that have been released so far. And I'd also like to finish the Castor Chronicles, of which this book is the first, just to kind of get them out of the way. And I have a friend who has them, so I'll just borrow them from her. As far as the books that I do own, I have a list on Goodreads of all the books that I own and haven't read, and you can go on there and order them by the date that I added them to Goodreads. So when I'm not sure what book to read next, that's probably where I'll head, and I'll just read them in order. And then of course there are books that I know I really want to read, like the books of Neil Gaiman, of which I have several that I haven't read, like American Gods, or just books that I'm pretty darn sure I'm gonna really enjoy, like A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith, or A Very Long Engagement by Sebastian Japresso, and the books of Dave Eggers. I read The Heartbreaking Work of Saccharine Genius a couple years ago and absolutely loved it, and have since acquired several of his books that I still haven't read, including You Shall Know Our Velocity, which I think is his second book. And then there's all the books I got in my huge book hauls over the past couple years, especially the library book sale hauls. And I don't think I have read any of those books yet. So that includes P.S. I Love You, which of course is a very popular movie, as well as The Art of Fielding by Chad Harbach. And then, God forbid, there are books I own that I have read that I want to reread, if you can believe it. I really want to reread Harry Potter. It's been a couple years since I've read the whole series. Even though I've read them all several times, it's just time to go back to this world because I miss it and I feel like I'm forgetting it. And Pride and Prejudice, which I actually read this year for the first time all the way through, and I absolutely loved it, and lately I've just been wanting to read it again already. The movie is one that I have seen several times, so I'm sure this book is one that I will read several times. As far as goals for my channel, I've already said that I want to make more videos about once a week, and I'd also like to do monthly wrap-ups of what I've been reading so I can talk about that more often with you guys, rather than 1 or 2 videos at the end of the year of every single book I read, and just talk about how reading is going for me. And there are a couple lifelong goals that I've come up with lately that are not resolutions, really, just things that would be cool if I could accomplish. And the first one is having read all of the books on my shelf. And then once I do that, I want to start going to the library and checking out a lot of books. And I think it would be cool to start in the children's section with the picture books and just work my way up all the way through juvenile fiction and teen fiction, adult fiction, and graphic novels and all of that. Because I go to the library a lot, but I don't really check anything out. And all the time I see stuff there that I want to read, but I have to prioritize what I already own. So that's one goal, and the next one is a bit more lofty, and I don't know if I will ever get it done, but I would love to learn to speak Italian. I just love the language when I hear it. I love Italy, even though I've never been there. I love the art and the architecture and the history and pizza. And I love the Italian editions of the Harry Potter series. So I would love to own those and be able to read them in Italian. So at some point in my life, if I could accomplish that, I would be pretty proud of myself. I do have 2 years of Spanish history several years ago, so hopefully that will give me a little boost in understanding the language and how it works. So that's 2014. I think it's going to be a really great reading year and just a great year in general. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!